Hey Pisces, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings, which being the last sort of weekish of October, we are doing the monthly reading for November. Okay, so having a bit of a look at what's going on for you in November. This weekend we will be sort of doing the shadow work reading for the full moon, as well as some really nice Halloween themed readings. So keep an eye out for those over the weekend. Okay, but today I am using the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. I do have the Slavic Folklore lenormand, and also using the True Love Oracle as well. All right, but getting sort of straight on into it for you Pisces. Pisces, what does Pisces need to know for November? What's going on for Pisces in November, please? Can't believe how quickly this year is going. Hey, Pisces. Pisces, the Evil Queen card. Look at that. You deserve sugar, not salt. So recognizing that you do deserve sweetness in your life. Those sweet little moments, sweetness in all its forms, really, and paying attention to the sweetness that you're being offered in November, rather than, I feel like with that particular card, sometimes we do sort of we do see some sort of energies around us that are being a little bit salty. Those energies that are a little bit, hard to digest, I suppose. They come across as a bit tart and bitter kind of energy, where you're kind of rejecting that, and only accepting people whose behavior is sweet towards you. So if you are coming across any of that energy in November where people are sort of acting a bit salty or anything like that, rejecting that, and not allowing that to, not allowing yourself to take that energy on board, really only sort of taking that sweet energy on board for November. We also have the Clover card there, okay? So that does say release your guilt. All right, now the Clover is also a card in the lenormand, and we do see that it does, closely associate with good fortune and good luck. All right, and this one is all about releasing your guilt, and really, having that, pick a four-leaf clover and you'll have a good luck, still being quite relevant here. But also, the act of sitting down and picking that four-leaf clover, giving yourself some time to really just sort of sit, focusing on, picking the clover, but it allows your subconscious to work through some things. So if you are finding that you are holding on to guilt in regard to, any past sort of situations there, November really being the time for you to release those sorts of guilts. And when we're seeing you not being salty, it's also towards yourself. Okay, so that not accepting that salty sort of behavior that does associate strongly with things like guilt, being sweeter to yourself, and allowing yourself to accept, I may have some guilt over this or that, but I choose to release that, and not allow that to control me, and over flavor my energy with that saltiness. All right. Okay, Pisces, what's going on for Pisces in November? With the lenormand, I am sort of splitting it up to start, middle, and end of the month. So we'll have a look, two for each, please, for our Pisces. November 2023 for our Pisces. Okay, those came out together. I'm going to grab an extra. Yeah. Okay, middle of the month for our Pisces. And end of November for Pisces. Ooh, Oh, very interesting, Pisces. Okay, so it looks like a month where we're going to be sort of working through a lot of things and seeing a lot of progress with what we're working through, just even within ourselves. Okay, so for the start of November, these two came out together, so I'm reading them together. We do have the lady there, the feminine, which came out with the cross. Okay, so that's you straight away, Pisces. That's you. We do also have the clouds that have come out with that as well. But that's straight away referring us back to that clover energy, where it's talking about, you know, these inner turmoils, the guilt that you've been holding on to, things like that, because we are clearly seeing here, you know, even though I don't like to genderize the feminine and the masculine, we do see the lady here who is someone who's quite strong and emotional. You know, that and what we're sort of seeing though is this woman is sort of carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. All right, so she is carrying some burdens, and she has been suffering a little bit emotionally. You know, so she's been, you know, carrying some sort of guilt, you know, carrying this as a burden, and really allowing it to sort of be super heavy on her thoughts, and allowing her to overthink, and you know, really get to the point of overthinking where you become anxious, and then you know, potentially even depressed with that overthinking there. So regardless of the gender, we do just sort of it does just sort of refer to your emotional state, the way that you sort of look after yourself emotionally and nurture yourself emotionally. You know, it also you know, it can talk about mother type figures, but you know, so you could be a mother yourself, or it could be you know, just that mothering side of yourself, regardless of, you know, that parenting sort of side of yourself, how you actually parent yourself within. Okay, so like I said, I don't like to genderize that, but I am feeling strongly that that's just talking about you yourself, Pisces, regardless of whether you're a masculine or a feminine. This is the more feminine, softer side of yourself, that, like I said, that side of you that is in, you know, responsible for your emotions, and responsible for your self-care, and your own nurturing your own emotions, and looking after your own emotions. And you are sort of, you know, we are seeing that, you know, at the start of the month, you are still just carrying some of these burdens, which is where we're really needing to, you know, release any guilt. You know, sometimes guilt is one of them things too, that even if we are the total innocent in a situation, we still have guilt and hold guilt about allowing that situation to do us wrong. Okay, and allowing it, you know, that victim sort of mentality, where, you know, you hold guilt for allowing yourself to be a victim to that negative energy. You know, so we do look at a lot of different things when it comes to, you know, guilt and shame, and all those sort of more negative emotions there. Even if you're totally innocent in a situation, a lot of the time we do still have, you know, negative emotions towards ourselves from those situations, regardless of, you know, even if we know full and well that it was somebody else to, you know, blame. And speaking of blame, you know, guilt is very strongly attached to blame as well. So it does talk about, you know, really releasing that blame that you've put on yourself for, you know, putting yourself in certain situations, or allowing certain people to do things or say things, or the way that we react to those negative situations, that negative energy. Sometimes, you know, we do need to still release a little bit of that guilt and shame that does come with those sorts of situations. But we do also see here with the cross, it is a very spiritual card. Okay, it does talk about your religion, your spirituality, regardless of what you sort of believe in. It kind of lets us know, have faith that things will work out the way that they need to. You know, even if you feel as though, you know, because a lot of the time when I see that guilt coming through, it does come through that you feel as though you're not, you know, you may feel guilty that you're not getting through this as quickly as you would like to, and those sorts of things. You know, but have faith in yourself, have faith in the fact that, you need these emotions for a reason. Without the darkness there cannot be light. So you do need to experience both the darker and the lighter side of life, to give you a very well balanced, sense of life, and sense of emotion. You can't have positive emotions if you don't understand the negative ones as well. So it's kind of that balance, and I feel like at the start of the month, you're really just sort of, still just getting rid of those niggly thoughts that sort of are in the back of your mind, when it comes to, I feel like this is in regard to a particular personal situation, that has happened in the past for you, and you're just still just sort of carrying some of those burdens from that. But I do see, that is just the start of the month that we're looking at there. Then heading into the middle of the month, we are seeing that being sort of resolved within you, because we do have the key, all right, and also the anchor. Okay, so toward the middle of the month, we are definitely seeing you opening the door to your own personal security and stability. So recovering from those guilty feelings, from those burdens, sort of you seeing that you've dealt with some of those, you've stopped sort of overthinking too much, and allowing yourself the space that you need to deal with those sorts of things, allowing yourself, that sweetness to come on through, just even for yourself, from yourself. So we definitely are seeing that, by the middle of the month, you are resolving those burdens for yourself. You resolving those negative emotions that you've been sort of, I feel like too, Pisces, that for a lot of you it's not even a constant. It's kind of, it may be sort of, in the back of your head quite a lot. But I feel like you're kind of wavering at the moment between, these negative emotions, and then all of a sudden you'll be fine, and then these negative emotions, and all of a sudden you'll be fine again. I feel like it's kind of that wavery kind of thing. It is still there in the back of your head, and you are still actually carrying them as a burden, going into the start of November. But we do see that you really do sort of open yourself up to move forward from that, and opening yourself up to being a lot more stable within your emotions, and stopping this from keeping you stuck, because with the door there, that really does talk about successful opportunities, and opening the door to brand new energy for yourself, and the brand new energy you're opening is all these positives of, look, I may have been carrying these burdens. I may have been weighed down by these burdens, but do you know what? Now that I'm moving, I'm going to unlock, I'm going to, open myself up to the idea that this is now actually something that, can hold me steady in the future. I know that because I've dealt with that and I've gone through that, I can face any rough seas and hold myself steady, through any storm. I'm willing to face that, and I can sort of anchor myself down nice and stable, and not be, not let my ship drift a million miles away, just because there's some big waves come through in the future. So it's kind of the way that you're looking at these things is slowly shifting for you, and you really are, opening yourself up to being more stable within your emotions, and being more secure just in who you are, and where you're going from here. So we do also see the with the key there, I do feel that for some of you, we are actually going to be seeing some actual, opportunities opening up to you as well. So I'm just getting that side note that when we do unlock ourselves to, this stability, that sometimes when you open one door, a multitude of doors will actually open for you as well. So I do feel that for a couple of you, this is definitely going to be, spanning more than just this sense of stability within yourself, that there will be, a more physical opportunity opening up to you. Okay, so I'm just sort of intuitively getting that for one of you, you will have some sort of career opportunity coming through in the middle of November, and for others of you, and majority of you though, we are seeing that there is another door that is opening up to you around the middle of November. That really is, you may not notice that it opens, okay, because what I'm seeing here is at the end of November, you will sort of notice all of a sudden at the end of November that there was a door that opened and you didn't even see it open, and that's coming through. It is coming through as a love thing. Okay, so we do have the letter, as well as the ring. Okay, and a lot of the time the ring can talk about a lot of different things, like not just romantic relationships, but I am really feeling strongly that this has got to do with a specific romantic connection that you are going to be communicating with somebody, and I'm feeling it's very new as well for a lot of you, that this is a new relationship entering your life. It's kind of like that talking phase. You're finding someone that you start talking and getting to know kind of phase is what I'm feeling here, with that. But, it definitely can talk about, starting a new cycle, some sort of communication coming through, that there is a brand new cycle starting for you. It could be talking about platonic connections as well, but I'm just sort of intuitively feeling that for majority of you, this is actually, having conversations, communication in regard to a potential new love relationship. Okay, so if you are already in a connection, it is going to be a lot more along the lines of just, opening, with that key there. It's kind of a new door opening within that connection. Okay, so it's definitely, it's not necessarily brand spanking new, but I feel like for majority of you it is. But if you are already in a connection, there's just a new element you're opening up to within that connection. Okay, but we're definitely seeing some sort of communication happening here. I do feel as though this is like, I'm kind of getting like text conversations, or like a phone call conversation, or something along those lines, where it's kind of just that, you're just wanting to get to know someone, and all of a sudden you're realizing that you've been talking to them for hours, kind of a vibe. I am getting that quite strongly, that it's that sort of vibe where it's like, you're getting text messages, and it just keeps, I'm just like, in my brain here, it just keeps on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and there's just like this huge big thread of text messages, and it's all just, that vibe of trying to get to know you a little bit better, trying to get to know somebody a little bit better. That's sort of what's coming through as that communication, but it can be sort of talking to people in person, emailing, or all different types of, any type of communication really. But it is, it is feeling like for a lot of you, it's going to be like text threads, or phone calls, that it's like, oh yeah, I'll talk to this person for a half an hour, and then, 3 hours later, you're like, oh wow, I'm still on the phone to you. Okay. It's that getting to know you, and that it is feeling quite exciting as well, but very interesting. But we'll see what wants to come out with the love oracle as well, because hopefully that can give us a bit more information about that. Okay, Pisces, what's going on for Pisces with romantic love during November? Okay, so you will remember that at the start of November, we did see the feminine coming out as you, and that is sort of in regard to some burdens that you're carrying from the past. This is kind of showing me that follow through once again. We are seeing the distorted masculine coming through. So I feel like for a lot of you, this is that past energy of what you have been dealing with in the past, is that distorted masculine. The distorted masculine obviously is the unevolved version of the masculine. So we do have distorted and divine masculine in these particular cards. And the distorted masculine is the masculine elements of, the more negative elements of the masculine. So, if we're seeing control, we are seeing someone who is, over controlling, over domineering. If we're seeing, a lot of the time we see this as chaos and war, and, a lot of fighting, and just not being able to be on the same page, because I feel like this is part of what's sort of been going on for you here with this cross and feminine energy, and heavy on your thoughts, and I think it's kind of letting us know that just keep in mind that you were once again, regardless of gender, because we all have masculine and feminine elements, but you were dealing with a distorted masculine, not an evolved, grown masculine. And what actually happens is, when you're dealing with that sort of energy, your masculine side, is evoked as well. Even if you're an evolved masculine within, but dealing with the unevolved version, it can be a little bit triggering in that sense, especially too when chaos and war and fighting and all those sorts of elements come through with the distorted masculine. When someone is constantly fighting with us, there comes a time when we can't sort of hold the higher ground, and we fight back. So I do feel as though this person has. Once again, for you Pisces, I'm getting things banging around in the background when I'm doing readings for you Pisces. I don't know what that is all about. So be careful of things falling, all right, from the roof. It's just I need to get better hooks on my walls. Some of the sticky stuff is not sticking properly. So maybe that's got something to do with this masculine. There was, something that should have stuck didn't stick properly. You fell for them and ended up crashing. It ended up crashing and burning. All right. So this definitely could be part of that. But like I was sort of saying, that the war thing, and they triggering, the distorted masculine can be very triggering to your masculine elements as well. So I feel like it's part of that shame and guilt is letting go of the unevolved version of yourself with that masculine energy as well, and thinking about that masculine energy within yourself, and balancing that feminine and masculine in a higher aspect, a more divine aspect, rather than allowing chaos and fighting and that war. I'm really just strongly getting that that fighting element coming through here. The war type of element that coming through with that masculine. But it's sort of showing us, that you may have dealt with that in the past, I feel. But what you've actually gotten from dealing with that in the past, and dealing with these burdens in the past, and being in that overthinking mode, it's, like I was saying, that sometimes we need the darkness in order to find the light. And what this has actually done for you, Pisces, is it's set you off into your maturity. All right. So we do see the maturity card coming through here. So I do feel as though, whatever's happened for you in the past, it has sort of set you off on this journey of a lot of growth within yourself, and you're now opening yourself up to being a lot more stable within yourself, and you're attracting, maturity on your own level, rather than attracting this distorted energy that you maybe have in the past. You are now attracting a much more mature, grown energy when it comes to romantic love. Okay, I do feel as though, we do see the figure, writing here on parchment, and we also have the communication on the parchment here. So it's kind of as though, the way that you're approaching this communication with this new energy toward the end of the month, you're approaching it from a much more mature standpoint to what you may have, in the past, when you were starting to get to know someone. The things that you're wanting to know about this person, you're coming from a much more mature space, and you're attracting a much more mature person, and it's going to be a much more mature conversation, than it has been for you with past people. So once again, you deserve that sweetness, not the salt. So you're not going to put up with the salt anymore. You're only attracting that sweetness, and you really, getting back what you're putting out. So I do feel as though that's coming through quite strongly. I'm also getting the sexuality card, okay, Pisces. So I do feel as though, when you are, communicating here toward the end of November, I do feel as though this is kind of the what comes next sort of energy. So we may be sort of seeing a lot of sexual activity at the start of December-ish, you know, the end of November, start of December, because I do feel as though, you know, this new energy, this is that new energy, and a lot of, you know, a lot of passion and desire coming through. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is actually, you know, you feeling like you're worth that sweetness, and I feel like it's very closely linked with your self-worth here, Pisces, and having that you know, that desire, and actually feeling desired, and whatnot. I feel as though, you know, with that distorted masculine, that can leave you feeling very you know, used and abused, whereas this sexuality card, it's actually feeling like, oh wow, someone really likes me. It's that you know, that sweetness of when you're first getting to know someone and you have that magnetism with each other, that passion and desire is kind of reignited within you here. All right. And so I kind of feel as though you know, redefining your sexuality, you know, redefining, you know, what it means for you to be physical, you know, and actually, I'm really feeling that for a lot of you, you kind of refinding that passion to be physical, and be, you know, embrace the physical stuff with somebody, and it, you know, I feel like we've got a lot of communication coming through here. So I would, you know, with that communication card, and that sexuality card, I would, you know, I would not be surprised to see some sexting and all that sort of stuff as well. So, you know, let me know how that goes, Pisces. We all know I'm nosy, and I love to hear about all your love stories. Okay, but that's what we have for you today, Pisces. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, but hopefully I'll see you all again soon.